So, 40 Plus Stories podcast. Me and my partner been talking about starting a podcast, and we kind of see different, we have different ideologies from most people when it comes to things like relationships and people communication and all that stuff. But I think everybody does. I think every woman thinks niggas don't get it, and I think every man thinks women don't get it. And so I wanted to start this podcast so we can have a fun conversation, but really air out some real stuff. So the first episode was a super clusterfuck, but it was just a trial run, just throwing something out there, just to try and see how it goes, see what we need to work on, see how we want to put it together, et cetera, et cetera. But the one thing that I picked up between that one podcast and just regular conversations with women and men and friends and fuck buddies and exes and all that just is we don't really understand each other. Men communicate different, and women communicate different, but women and men very rarely are able to communicate with each other in a way that the opposite sex can understand. And that's kind of what I want to get into with this podcast. So if this seems like something that you might be interested in, just know I'm going to start uploading episodes and start uploading conversations and thoughts and questions, and just kind of get to the bottom of, is there any hope for us? I don't think women like men anymore. I think men are starting not to like women. I think that's why all this gay shit is like becoming so popular, because the opposite sex is fed up. So, if you can learn how to sit back and listen and just let your partner or your fuck buddy or whatever talk and get their point across without saying anything. Let them think they're right. Let them know that they're heard before you respond. Whether they're right or wrong, eventually, if you can have an adult conversation, there'll be some truth to come about. And there'll be a common ground. Either we agree, we disagree, or we just agree to disagree. I don't think it has to be the end of us. Because that's what it's starting to look like. It's starting to look like the end of relationships, and everything's just going to be prostitution, pimping, lying, cheating. I mean, I want us to be able to have a conversation, at least people in my circle. So I'm going to have some more stories, some more uploads, and I'm going to bring some more people in to have these conversations and, try and see if there's any possibility in husband and wife relationships anymore. I've given up on the idea of love altogether. So I'm interested to see what other people think about the chance of us being able to coexist and do what we're supposed to do, and in the biblical sense, man and woman being fruitful and multiplying happily, building families. So 40 Plus Stories coming soon. There's a shit show podcast up now that we put up. It was fun, didn't end great, but it was entertaining. And I'm gonna try and do a video every week, and every week there'll be improvements. There'll be better sound, better lighting, better quality, better conversation, and in a much more controlled environment, because the first episode was wild. So this seems like it might be a thing. Check out the first episode. It's on 40 Plus Stories. It's called Grown Folks Conversation. And yeah, man, let's try and figure some shit out together.